Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Brittany, and today's video is I'm going to read Catching Fire in one day. Kind of. Probably a day and a half. But we're going to get through this book in one go. Hopefully. We'll see. So, I I have to apologize that I was supposed to read Catching Fire like a few months ago. And I never got into it because I kept pushing it back because got overwhelmed of all the library books that I was reading at the time. I want to say like 6 months ago, roughly 6 months ago. So I have a good opportunity to try to attempt to read this all in one book. I mean, all in one day. It's Saturday. It's April 4th. It's 11:26 a.m. I do have it on a reading sprint right behind me. I don't know where they're at in the reading sprint, but then at some point today, I will have to go pause and go to the library to pick up at least a library book that I have on hold. I'm hoping the second book that I requested, I'm able to get it today. Um, so yeah, so I'm gonna try also, since it's a Saturday, to like stay up later. So if I can I have stayed up, but we're gonna see how it goes. But my plan is to try to Catch and Fire a good chunk of it all today. So I've already read one chapter um like a week or two ago, couple days ago. I think it's been about a week, and I haven't gone back to it because I'm also reading another book. I'm reading a couple different books. So, but I'm gonna make this a point because I really wanted to do a reaction video. This is part two. If you're asking about where's part one, it's in, I still don't know how to figure out how to do, like click the link up here kind of situation. But, anyways, I have it. So if you want to watch my reaction video of that, it's on my channel here. But for this one, it's still going to be a reaction video, but instead of taking it like days at a time, I'm just going to do it all in one day. So it might take me all night. So we'll see how that goes. But my goal is to read Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and then uh the Ballad of Songs and how it goes, but the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and then also The Sunrise of the Reaping, so I can watch the actual movie when it comes out in the end of this year. And then also rewatch all the movies because I've actually read the books now. So that is the generalized goal. So I have all the books. I just need to read them. So um I'm going to, before I start officially reading, I got to clean up my setup a little bit how I want to do this. I might No, I should still clean up because I do want to sit on my reading chair behind me. I'm not moving too much because well, it's not that bad. It's just a bunch of blankets that's on my chair. So we'll take the blankets off. Um, I may read just up here on my desk for a bit, and then, like I said, later on, I do need to go to the library before they close, so I can get my possible two books, or maybe just the one book that's ready to be picked up. So I'm going to take the time while I'm talking about it to take a look real quick. Ah, damn it. The second one's in transit, so I'm hoping it'll be here today. But like I said, worst case scenario, it might be that the second book might be ready to pick up sometime next week. So, anyways, happy Saturday. I also forgot to mention, hopefully this doesn't show that it's like shaking. I did mention that I read the first chapter, but I'm also, since I'm doing this kind of like filming live, I don't know if I'm gonna tab it. Maybe I will because I have a whole setup of how I want to tab my book here. So certain colors represent President Snow, certain colors, or not certain colors, but uh, one color represents President Snow, another Gale, Peeta, Katniss, and then my reaction. So that's what this is. And I have my, hopefully, I have enough tabs to tab this whole book. So we're going to do that. But I may have to reread the first chapter. All I kind of remember was like the very end, because that's the reason, or the very end of the first chapter, because I tabbed it. So, oh, I see. So I'm gonna quickly set up while I do that. This will be a good time to get some snacks, your beverage of choice. I finished my, oh, I still have a little bit. I have Pepsi and water. I'm going to be drinking my water because I've not been drinking water that much. So that's what I will be doing. Um, at some point, I want to make some hot tea because it's been, the spring has been springing up here of where I live at. And it's been breezy or windy for that matter. And the pollen is punching me. So um, I do want to apologize if my voice sounds a little raspy, or at some point in the video, if I look like I am coughing up a lung, it's because I am. Um, Asthma. so so I'm gonna try my best not to talk a lot in this video. Will pop in and do check-ins, of course, but this is not a talky bit. So if you want to read your book with me, be my guest. So get comfortable. Like I say, get your beverage. Make sure at least one of your beverages is water and some snacks and your book of choice or audiobook. Well, I guess you can still put me on if you're listening to your audible, unless you're listening to it on your phone and then watch me. That not be helpful. But if you're watching me on your TV, then listen to it. I don't know. Whatever works. So yeah. I'll be back. I just want to take the blankets off at least. And I don't need to film that. You don't need to see me take off my blankets off my chair. So be back and I'll start, I guess. All right. Okay. I'm back. Blankets are slightly cleaned off my chair. So like I said earlier, I do have it on a reading sprint. So they're on their timer. It's about 34 minutes and 26 seconds. I'm going to do a couple things. What I do is oops, for if you have iPhones, you can change it on like your focus. So I'm going to put it on, technically, I know I'm filming, but I'm going to actually put it for, I don't know if you can see it, but I have it like my little thingies. So I'm going to put it on for reading. So when people call or text me, they're like, Brittany should be technically reading. So I have that. We're also, um, there's one thing I forgot to do. Oh, that's not, I guess. Okay. Um, I have my water. Oh, I should have put ice in it. Anyways, I'll do that later. But have it on my focus time. We're going to, I don't know if I should set an actual timer or do a stopwatch. Let's do a stopwatch. So, yeah, I'm going to turn off my mic, but I'm going to start the clock. Hopefully I do it right. Oop, I missed it. There we go. And happy reading. my camera off because I forgot I didn't charge it, so it's slowly dying. When I say slowly, it's fastly dying, but yeah. So I'll be back, and I'm at 7 minutes and 18 seconds, so I'll come back when I'm like on chapter 5 to let you know. All right, bye. Okay, I am back. I'm gonna have to, hopefully this is a good angle. I'm gonna try not to move because I am in my pajamas. Check in, 5 chapters check in so far. So far I'm liking it. I mean, which I know I will like this, but I do find it very interesting because I'm kind of comparing and contrasting um, um, movie and book, and it's been a while since I've watched the movies, so my memory is a little whatever. But I feel like from the get go, I should say, between book President Snow and movie President Snow is like literally night and day. Movie President Snow to me, kind of like, he comes off. I mean, granted, Donald Sutherland is a terrific actor. So I don't know if, one, if you read the book, probably not, and two, what kind of notes that the director gave him, because to me in the movies he kind of comes off like this like creepy grandpa, but like in the book he's like more intense and more scarier, and it gives that intensify between him and Katniss, that Katniss is like truly afraid of him in the book, but in the movie she's like, oh, here's grandpa, you know. I just find it very interesting. So so that's that. That's the thing that I can pick up really fast, or that I noticed, I should say. And then another thing that I noticed, that in the books here, Katniss, okay, in the book here, from at least from Hunger Games and Catching Fire so far, clearly, and maybe it's just me, that she loves Gale more than she does Peeta. I know at some point she does eventually. Sorry, my friend's texting me about Secret Life of Mormon Wives. But anyways, let me mute this real quick. But she, oops, that's not what I want. I'll just mute it. What was I saying? Oh, Katniss and Gale. So it feels like she, in the books here, like she doesn't want to admit that she likes Gale or is in love. I mean, she's 16. What do you mean she's in love? But whatever. Love is love. But that, I get it that she's trying to keep everyone at a distance for their safety. But then movie Katniss is like, oh, he's a homie, you know? So I just find that kind of interesting. I said it from day one. I already know that I'm a Team Peeta. I mean, I think I like Gale. I don't know. We'll see. Gale in the books is more of a kind of like, I'm here kind of situation in the books, and compare it into the movies, because oh my gosh, what's his name? Liam Hemsworth was, you know, he was the new hot coming actor that dated at the time Miley Cyrus, or did they break up at this time? One of the two. So I get it why it's different from compared to movie and book, but I wish there were certain details that they kept that's in the book that they should have kept in the movie, but whatever. What else? And then what was it? Oh, I decided not to tab because it's wasting my time, especially if I'm going to just read a couple chapters and then kind of talk about it. So I'm decided not to tab anything. But there was something else. What was it? Oh, hey Mitch. I feel like another comparison between book and movie. And I get why they didn't really show it heavily in the movie, because they don't want to try to promote alcoholism, um, because of his trauma. But I feel like I think they played it. I don't know. It's kind of hard because this is technically a PG-13 movie, and you're expecting teenagers to come and see this movie with their parents or whatever. So you're trying not to promote, addiction of some sort. But I think also it kind of shows the struggles that Hamish still has, between his games. That's not the word I wanted, but I had a brain fart there. But you get what I'm saying. His games up to now, which is what, decades later. I know I'm gonna get to that story in hopefully months from now or whatever. But I just wish that and maybe they did, and I just didn't. Since now I'm reading it, I can see it better. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I do see some differences so far from book to movie, or from movie to book, since that's what I watched first. And there was something else. What's his face? Crane. I mean, there's no ground. I mean, we know that he got, offed, lack of a better word, but there was something else. Nothing's really much happening. They're doing their tribute tour and going through each district. So, they went through, oh my gosh, Rue's district. What's, it's not 11. Is it 11? I forgot. But they went through theirs, and there's been some commotion going on. And, oh, it was District 11. And then, and, oh, Peeta proposes to Katniss, and President Snow, has showed up and been like, girl, I don't believe you. You're full of caca. So, that is where I'm at for now. Like I said, I'm going to try. My goal is to read up to 20 tonight, and then try to finish the rest tomorrow. But yeah, I've been kind of slacking. I've been slacking today. I just allergies, man. And then I grabbed my book from the library. The second book didn't come in, so that won't come in until sometime next week. So, but that is my update. I have it on a reading sprint still. They've been going on all day. I think they're doing I don't know how long that they're doing this for, but hopefully they do it up to like maybe 10 and 11 night, or 10 or 11 tonight. And then, yeah, that's it for your girl. And then I may hop on other books. I'm like halfway through another book. I'm about to start another book. And then, I'm trying to find if I have a book, because I think I might join. Oh, I can't, because I have another book for a book club that I need to start reading. Actually, there's 2 books, but that's a whole nother thing. But my main focus is Catching Fire. So, like I said, so far, I know I only read 5 chapters, and so far I'm liking it. It is kind of a slow start. So, yeah, we're going to see where they're at. It's 7:46 p.m. Still Saturday. And I think I might make myself another cup of tea and your girl's in for the night. Um, and I got my water, and I got some soda, and I got tea. I got all my beverages in, and I got music playing. Well, I paused it because I wanted to make this part here real quick. So yeah, um, I'll do another check-in, see where I'm at, call it a night, and then we'll pick up tomorrow. All right, night. I'm hopping in real quick. So I'm at the part, literally this is only in chapter 6. So I'm at the part where they're at some type of like, what's it called? Um, Party at the Capitol, and Katniss is meeting the new game headmaster. And this one, she technically had met previously in the last book, and by shooting an arrow at the apple when she was doing like, not her auditioning, but them just like, sorry, I didn't mean to drop my mic. When they were like trying to watch her skills or whatever. So, um, something that never occurred to me, that, you know, they're dancing, whatever. So she's like, oh, you're planning for the next games, right? And he goes, yeah. He's like, where it goes, how did she say it? Big honor, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Oh, it goes, so she goes, you must know about Senna Crane, but he doesn't look the least a bit concerned. Are you planning the quarter quell games already? She goes, I say. And he goes, oh yes, well, they've been in the works for years. What do you mean? Um, now I lost my spot. For years, of course, arenas aren't built. He's like, arenas aren't built in a day, but they shall, but the shall we say flavor of the games is being determined now. Oh, I kind of read that wrong. I was thinking that I thought that he meant like the arenas are built in a day, but it's actually not. But it takes years to, never mind. But still, that's still a long time. And also, I don't think I've ever mentioned it, but clearly the whole theme of this book, of both Hunger Games and Catching Fire, is kind of like um, lightly putting it as what's going on today. Well, not so much of today, but just how her and Peter are at this party, and they're, you know, stuffing themselves by eating these fancy foods, and they're like, well, we have to take a bite of each food just to, you know, enjoy it all. And I think one of their team members were like, oh, you know, why are you not eating? And they're like, well, we're full. And they're like, well, drink this and do it out in the back, kind of indicating like, um, you can fill your bellies as much as you can, but behind closed doors, we're just, you know, throwing it up. Oh, I should have said trigger warning and contact warning. So I apologize if you were eating at that part. Me mentioning that part. And then they're watching like young children, like just not preparing food, but just like serving food as well. So, you know, there's this kind of like a, you know, fancy above people. There's a word for it, but my brain cannot fathom right now. But kind of just pretty much in today's society, what we're going on, how I have to get a little bit political, so I do apologize. You can fast forward this part if you want. That, you know, we have people who they don't care for the poor, essentially, and just how it's very interesting for, you're playing these tournaments for life and death just to kind of represent your district, and you have these people with uh, who has higher power just living their best lives and doing this as an entertainment, um, because that's what happens. So it's just interesting. And like I said, I don't think I've ever mentioned that, but I am aware of that. I just try to keep it, I don't want to say try to keep it light, but I mean, I guess this is a lighter version than what's that other there's a is it an anime version of this that was like kind of the original of Hunger Games. So yeah, but I'm gonna go back to reading. But I just wanted to pinpoint that I guess makes sense. It takes them years to get it together, but it takes whatever amount to add the flavor as what's his face, um, Philip Seymour Hoffman's character puts it as. But yeah, so I'll be back. I don't know. We'll see. Am I on chapter 6 still, or is it 7? 6. I've been reading really slowly today, but we'll get there. We'll probably get to chapter 15 tonight, um, just for sake of me being super tired. We'll see. I'm gonna say 15. I'm really pushing it for 20, but yeah. So I'll be back for better updates later. I'm back. Gale confessed to Katniss that he loves her. Damn. That was not in my bingo card. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking like it would never happen. Either it's so weird that Katniss is like truly in love with him. And I mean, same thing for Gale. It's just so, I wish that dynamic was shown better in the movie, because this is like throwing me off. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying like, oh, they really did like, there's some feelings there, right? And then on top of that, that Katniss also like proposed like of them, her and Gale to like run away. I was like, girl, you need to stop. You know that's not gonna work. Because even Gale like called her out. He's like, well, how's your fiance? Oh no, because Katniss gave Gale, even though they're Senna's gloves, but he was thinking that they're Peeta's gloves, and he's like, I don't want your fiance's glove, and she's like, they're not his anyways. But I just think, I don't know why I'm so gagged by that. Like, I was like, oh, they really do, or they really like down bad for each other. That makes a lot of sense. Also, at the time when these movies came out, that Team Gale girlies were like truly upset that there was not a lot of Gale love like representation. So I will have to say I will be upset too. But man, his voice dropped to a whisper. I love you. Man, that's crazy. But anyways, I wanted to hop in on that. And this is only chapter 7, I think. I think I'm barely into 7. I think, right? Yeah. I mean, not barely into 7. I've been in chapter 7 for a hot minute. But, I mean, now I now I understand, looking back, why why Team Gale girlies were like upset. They were, I mean, especially in Tumblr days, like when Tumblr was in its peak, all the posts I was seeing. And I've said in my Hunger Games reaction that Team PETA and Team Gale girlies, they were fighting. If they weren't fighting on Twitter, they were fighting on Tumblr. And now I get why. Now it makes a lot of sense. All right, I'm gonna keep reading, but I just wanted to pop in real quick and express that I'm truly gagged. That this is not like a not like a thing. I mean, it's a thing, but not like, I don't know what I was expecting. I thought it would be less, because in the movies, once again, I keep comparing it to the movies, that I mean, didn't Suzanne have any like say in the movies? She didn't fight for Gale. Was she a Team PETA? I have questions because, like, whoever wrote the script for the movies, they were a PETA girly. Because I felt like Gale in the movies were kind of just like, he was there, just in the background, creeping. I mean, you can sense that there was some tensions between Katniss and Gale in the movies, but like overall, like if anyone like looking, if I had read the books when they first came out, right when the movies came out at the same time, then I would have like been like, okay, yeah, I'm upset. But like, I didn't do that. Like at all. I just hopped into the movies because I didn't have time to read them at the time. And now I'm reading it. Now I'm like, oh, now I can see why they were upset. Man, only to relive that lifetime, or that, not lifetime, but to relive that point in time, what I know now for back then, it would make sense. So anybody who's a Team Gale, who's happened to watch this video, I'm going to give you your flowers and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And thank you for your service. All right, let me keep reading. All right, I am back. I finished chapter 9. I'm going to call it a wrap for tonight. I'm about to start part 2, The Quell. Nothing, I shouldn't say nothing really happened. Really quick, Gale, wait, is that the part? Yeah. So after Katniss have told everybody, let's run away, it backfired, of course, as one would think would happen. And Gale, got not kidnapped, but taken and whipped in the, what's it called? And the quad, not the quad, but there's a word for it, but I'm starting to get too tired to have my words make sense. That's why I want to make this quickly. And now Katniss is like, I'm going to start the revolution. That's not what she says. She said that she wants to start, not the revolution, what's it called? Oh, hold on. I forgot. I had it on a reading sprint. Excuse me for my pajamas. But anyways, back to this real quick. She wants to start an uprising. That's the word I'm looking for. So everybody was like, sure, Jan, after you've been like freaking out on us for the past, what, couple of months or whatever, or a couple of days after the conversation with President Snow, now they're like, sure, Jan, okay, Moray, you want to start an uprising? But she's like, no, for real, I do. So that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'm about to start the Quell, which is, I'm assuming, the next games. I'm trying to fix my bookmark here. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't even get to, I mean, technically I could get up to chapter 15, but my eyes hurt. Not there, I shouldn't say they hurt. They're just a little strained because I've been literally, been reading, and I want to lay down and want to read a little bit more, but of my other books, and scroll on my phone for a little bit and then go to sleep. So that's what I'll do. So I'll come back tomorrow, and my goal is to actually finish this book tomorrow. So I'll probably be up a little bit early in the morning. Because what am I doing in the morning? Probably just doing laundry. I think I'm going to do laundry this week or tomorrow. We'll see. But definitely I want to be up a little bit early so it gives me enough time to actually finish the book completely tomorrow. So yeah. So that is it for tonight. And I'll be back later. Not later, but tomorrow. All right. Good night. Sweet dreams. Good morning. Happy Easter. It's Sunday, April 5th, and it's 7:45 in the morning. I could sleep some more, to be honest, but I don't want to overdo it when I go to bed tonight. But today it's going to be a chill day. Me and the bae has nothing to do for Easter. We're staying home, so I'll be reading. I have a reading spin on. I don't know how far they're in. Oops, I forgot. This is not my typical setup here. So what I'm going to do is have it on another reading spread. Oops. And go from there, but no one's doing, I guess that makes sense because it is Easter. Yeah, so I think she's doing it, and typically she does it for a while, I hope, but it may change because it's Easter. But if not, we'll do our own. Like I said, my goal is to finish this book today. I'm currently at 35%. I think that's what that was. Oops. Yeah, I'm at 35%, which I wish, whatever. But I got my water, I have my coffee, I have my book. So we're about to start the actual, it sounds like we're about to start the actual games. This is it. This is my life right now. I will have to take a pause to start some laundry and maybe eat some breakfast, but for the most part, I'm planning on just reading all day. And maybe occasional scroll here and there, but for the most part, we're just reading. We're just reading. We're gonna come back, talk some notes. I know I talked about which I forgot to mention last night, and I wanted to talk about it, but I think the reason why I didn't want to talk about it yet, because I want to see that there's more to it, but Mage gave not Hunger Games, gave Katniss a Mockingjay pin. I have some thoughts, and I know it could be wrong, but I want to, if I don't say them out loud, then I'm just going to keep thinking it until I get to Songbirds and Snakes. I think that's that. Why do I feel like I'm saying that? No, that's the title. It feels so, I'm not saying the Ballad of, I think that's what's throwing me off. But anyways, back to my conspiracy theory. I know that oh, what's her name? I forget her name. Hold on. How do you spell ballad? Oh, I was spelling it right. Okay. Ballad of... Oops. You know what? Let's bring it so I can actually see it. Because I don't have my glasses on. Oops. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Isn't her name like Sally Mae? No, it's not Sally Mae. Oh, I'm trying also not to spoil myself on here either. But I just want to know what her name was. The girl that Rachel Zegler plays, Lucy Gray. I said Sally Mae. I think, and like I said, I know I'm probably wrong, but I just want to say this theory out until I get to it. But I think Mage might be Lucy Gray. I know I've been told when I get to Songbirds, or the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, that there's not a plot twist, but something that makes you realize what is happening that we see in the Hunger Games series. So, but she keeps popping up and giving Katniss a Mockingjay, and there's a part. Let me see. When she stops, because it's just like right when the chapter ends. But presents, no. And then also, do we ever find out about Katniss's dad? I know that he, if I'm correct, didn't he die like in a mine? And but I feel like there's more to it. It's not just like, oh, he just died. I think there's, anyways, but trying to figure out. No, because Katniss is getting, I forget who gives it to her, and she's like, oh, this is odd, and I just can't remember who gave it to her. But it ends up being the Mockingjay after she wants to start not revolution, oh my gosh. That's not the word they use, not a revolution, you get what I'm saying. It's still early in the morning. Okay, they're at 16 minutes. So I'm going to wait till I don't want to start reading while they're about to end reading. So I'm going to wait till they finish their sprint, do their talkie bits, see where they're at, and then I'll start. But if it comes back to me of who gave Katniss the Mockingjay pen, I'll let you know. I'll come back with notes. But other than that, happy reading. Or happy Easter, by the way. But yeah, I'll come back. I remember the word uprising. I don't know why I'm struggling to remember that word. Why I have you here. Reading sprint has start. It's 47 minutes and 8 seconds into it. So technically like 4 minutes into it. And there's some new characters that I've never heard of. Twill and Bonnie. They're from District 8. And they're talking to Katniss because Katniss got bread that looks like the Mockingjay. I think. Was it bread? I'm reading it real quick. What? Oh, my bird baked into bread. That's what it's, yeah. So it's the Mockingjay that's shaped or baked into the bread. So we're meeting Twill and Bonnie. They're from District 8. So they're like, we're with you, girl. And she's like, what are you talking about? So that's literally where I'm at. So, yeah, that's it. I'll come back with more updates. Just not this. But I wanted to... I wanted to make sure that I remember the word. It's uprising. But yeah, happy reading. Okay. I'm at the end of chapter 11. No, chapter 10. Yeah. End of chapter 10. And I have some issues. Not issues, but as far as from book to movie, I wish they would have had put this this moment or this conversation between Katniss, Twill, and Bonnie about how Bonnie and Twill had a plan in District 8 to start the uprising when Katniss was there, or a little bit before she was there. Is it before? A little, whatever, between before and in or actually in the present and then after, when they're talking like what went down in Department 8, or not Department 8, District 8, of what their plan was. And then now they're talking about the theory with District 13, how it was bombed, but they think that they're living underground. So Katniss is like, okay, if that's true, why are they not helping the other districts? Why are they literally watching us like kill each other in the Hunger Games, right? So, and because I'm thinking that makes a lot more sense from what's going to happen in Mockingjay. As far as movie wise, I'm talking about, because I haven't actually read the book yet, but oh duh, that's why I'm reacting. But you get what I'm saying, right? So I just wish that this I don't want to say scene, but this chapter could have been in the book. I mean, in the movies. Or I don't think they even filmed this at all. So I'm like, this would have been a great detail. I mean, they could have whatever, but it's just interesting that that Katniss is, kind of, instead of like happening, it didn't make sense in the movie. It felt like there's certain well, let me say this, as I'm now since it's all coming, if I can put my bookmark in. So this is my issue. Is it now, from what I'm reading and what I've watched in the movie, you can tell in the movies that there's certain scenes that are missing. Like it doesn't flow right. And this makes sense. And I know. You're probably saying, Brittany, of all people, as a book reader, or reading a book that's going to be adapted to a movie, that it's they never stay true to the books, right? Okay, sure. Yes, I know that. But I feel like if you're adapting a movie or you're adapting a book into a movie, show, whatever, you also have to think that people are not, you can't assume as a movie production that you're going to put this movie and thinking that, oh, everyone's going to read it. Not everyone's going to read. Not everyone likes reading. So I feel like for context, they could have put this scene. I mean, I know they could have put a whole bunch of scenes that was from the book into the movie to make it more better. But I feel like this conversation between the three of them, I mean, okay, it's one thing. Well, okay, no. This is what I'm thinking. If I was writing the script, I think that this scene should have happened, or this moment should have happened, because it sets up I keep saying department. I work for a courthouse, so I keep saying department, but it's District 13. It sets up District 13 for Mockingjay. right? Or towards the end of Catching Fire into Mockingjay. So it can have that built that bridge from one point to another. So when we watch Mockingjay, for those who do not read the books, or in my case, reading the books later after the fact, it kind of bridge that gaps, can kind of like, oh, this was the conversation, right? So I just want to talk to. I have questions. Like, what made them decide not to put that scene in? Either one or two things. Obviously, one, budget, because a billion-dollar movie franchise, to me, that's like, oh, they could fit that in, right? Or a person who's not familiar how movie works, they're gonna think, oh, $2.5 million, budget doesn't seem a lot, but it's to a person who's not familiar how movies are made, that's a lot of money, right? But in Hollywood, they're like, girl, that's like trying to go grocery shopping with $20. You know what I mean? Even though that's not the greatest analogy, but that makes a quick whatever. So, but I also think, if I'm not mistaken, IMDb, I can't remember. I know. I think Suzanne Collins is writing the script for these next prequels, but I don't think she was ever. Hunger Games. Let's see. I just want to see the first one at least. Who was the writer? Oh, she was the writer. At least for Hunger Games. Did she do for Catching Fire? Now, Suzanne. Let's see. Yeah, she did it for Hunger Games. Oh, I forgot Mockingjay was in 2 parts. That was a thing. That was a thing because of Harry Potter. So she did Hunger Games. Oh, and she did Catching Fire. Now, Suzanne, you have the opportunity to put some of these like moments like this in the movie. Now I'm curious why you didn't. And I get it. It was her. Was it her first true? No, because she wrote Little Bear. So she'd written scripts. Now I'm going to have to go on YouTube. And I don't know if she's any. Let's see. Is it 2 N's? Yeah. Suzanne Collins. Hunger Games interview. Okay. So we're going to have to look at some interviews at some point and be like, why? Especially if you have, the reason why I'm so shook is because a lot of authors, when their book is being adapted, a lot of times they don't get a say what is going to happen within the adaptation, because their source material is being adapt. That's what I'm looking for. So I get it, because it's not like, oh, it's strictly going by the books. But I feel like if you're one of the writers for your own book for a movie or TV, don't you want to be kind of close to the source material? Right. I mean, granted, yes, these were movies, so you can only do so much, right? But also in the same time, like, and it's not like a small, it's not like it's a thick book. This is pretty small. This is like a quick read to some people, right? So I feel like, I'm no writer. Let me say that. But I feel like if I was her and I had an opportunity where, uh, who is in Legendary is the, um, I forgot the production company. I think it is Legendary, or Sony, one of the two. Um, I feel like if they gave me the opportunity, like, hey, you can be a part of the writing team of your own book for this adaptation, wouldn't you want to at least put a couple things that was in the book into the movie that would make sense? But who am I guess. Um, but I forgot that she's written scripts for TV shows, because she did it for Little Bear, uh, Oswald. These are literally my childhood. Carissa Explains It All. What else? Um, have I seen this? The Mystery Files of Shelby Woo? Yeah! Oh my gosh, yes. Like, so she... Never mind. I'm going to go back to reading. But that's what... I went down the rabbit hole and I didn't want to quite yet, but here we are. But yeah, that's my update. All right, I'm back. I just finished reading chapter 12. And girl, there's like a lot happening, but not a lot is happening. So I talked about Katniss talking to Bonnie and Twill about the rumors about District 13. And after they had left and talked, Katniss realized that the fence is, I don't want to say electrocuted, but it has electricity, so she can't really, like, touch it. So she jumped on a tree, hopped down, landed, kind of bruised her tailbone, and maybe had sprained her ankle, or not her ankle, her heel. So the peacekeepers were like, "Girl, where have you been? We've been waiting for you for hours in your crib." And she's like, "Oh, I was with the goats." So there's, that kind of moment, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we told you to go west and you went east," and all that jazz. So they bamboozled the peacekeepers. And then now she is trying on. Senna had made 24 wedding dresses. I'm like, could not be me. But so that happened. She, did some press stuff, whatever. So now, at the end of chapter 12, President Snow makes an announcement. And I want to get this right. Hold on. After I cough my lungs out, hold on. Oh, so he's talking about the 15th anniversary, and then the 75th anniversary, and then so it's like, whoever devised the quarter quell system and prepared for centuries of the Hunger Games. The president removes an envelope clearly marked with a 75 and runs his fingers under the flap and pulls out a small square of paper. Without hesitation, he reads, on the 75th anniversary, as a reminder to the rebels that even the strongest among them cannot overcome the power of the capital. The male and female tributes will be reaped from their existing pool of existing pools of victors. My mother gives a faint shriek and Prim bury her face in her hands. But I feel more like the people I see in the crowd on television, slightly baffled. What does this mean, existing pools of victors? Then I get it, what it means. At least for me, District 12 only has 3 existing victors to choose from. 2 male and 1 female. I'm going back to the arena. Damn, that is cold. I act like I just don't know this. But just the fact to kind of like the realization, can you imagine, you're this girl, 16-year-old girl, all you were trying to do is not have your little sister killed. And then you do this not tournament, but like this kind of like, there's a word for it, but, and you doing it, you ended up kind of people, and it's you and your partner, and you're like, you know what? Here's these berries that are poisonous. Let's do it. And kind of like, in a way, like, it is interesting that Katniss doesn't see like what she did was kind of like a rebellious move. And she's like, I'm just trying to survive. And if I can't do that, what is my next plan, right? And President Snow's like, we can't have that. And it's just crazy to have this kind of like this weird, I don't want to say battle, but this weird kind of like cat and mouse game between Katniss and President Snow, because President Snow is like, here we go again, another girl. Katniss is like, I just want to hunt, be in the woods, be a country girl, and call that a day, right? But for her to be like, I'm going back to the arena. Like, he's for sure going to try to off me. If he can't do it in public, or if he can't do it in private, he's going to do it in public. He's like, and I won't. And for him to be like, I'm not going to kill you. He's like, it's part of the games. He's like, I'm not going to do nothing but watch it. And that's just so, it just mind boggles. It's just crazy. But anyways, they're talking their bits. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to start laundry. I'm starting to get a little hungry. I'm going to warm up my coffee, and we'll come back and read. I should also probably, before I do all that, I'm going to put in my pages into my book tracker apps and do all that. So I might miss the first 10-15 minutes of their next sprint. And, oh, I don't have this pause. Oh, that was pause. Why am I hearing music? That's so weird. I don't know where the music's coming from. Oh, it's from Twitch. I'm like, I hear music, but I don't know what it's coming from. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So they're doing their talkie bits. I'm going to listen to them to see if they're going to do another sprint, warm up my coffee, make breakfast, do laundry, come back, and continue to read. Now it's starting to pick up a little bit. So far, up to, I'll say like by like chapter 10, or before, from chapter 1 to chapter 9, it was kind of slow. There was some moments here and there, but I think from 10 to 12 now, it's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. So I wonder what's next. This is part 2 that I'm on. My book is so weird. Anyways, I'll figure out what part 3 is at, but I'm sure it's probably after chapter 19 or after chapter 15. But anyways, let me do all this stuff so I can hop back and read. So I'll come back later. Bye. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, hold on. There we go. So I've read a chapter. Yeah, because I'm on 14. So I did start laundry. I did eat breakfast. The reading sprint I had on before they just did their last sprint. And then they're doing a turkey bit, and then they're done for the day. I put it on a new reading sprint. I don't know where they're at. They've been going on for a bit, so this might be their 3rd sprint. So they're at 78 minutes and 30 seconds. So I think I'm going to pop on with them, see where they're at the end. What else? So far, I was going to say nothing's happened, but that's not true. So basically, what I was going to say, I was like, what did happen? So after finding out that, Katniss is going to be in the Hunger Games, shocker, she tried to have a game plan with Haymitch about Peeta that, because Haymitch is going to, like, be picked, or he's going to volunteer, and she's like, do it for Peeta's sake, because we want him to live. And then, but Peeta on the flip side is like, nah, I want to be part of the games because last time I didn't do much but just hide. So now the 3 of them are like bickering what to do. So now they picked, and of course Peeta volunteered as tribute to take place of Haymitch, his spot. And of course, Katniss picked, she volunteers tribute, and and then Gale. My God. I'm trying to be respectful though, but also like, what? So after he's better from all the slashings, he's now telling Katniss, after finding out like she's gonna be like, essentially no matter what, she's gonna be part of the games, that he's like, let's run away. And Katniss is like, dude, really? It's too late. And he's like, it's never too late. We can run away now. And she's like, no. And so now she's having this like existential crisis about, just about keeping the people that she loves alive by sacrificing herself. And that, just like, how does she get here, and wish that she would have done things slightly different than she did. And now Peeta's like, all right, you and Haymitch need to sober up because we got a job to do. So he means business, which is, understandable. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and then also, since they, volunteered or whatever, that this time around, they don't get to say their goodbyes to their family. It's like, hop on this train and good luck kind of situation. So that's where I'm officially at. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that was pretty much it. So like I said, it is picking up. It's kind of slow here and there, and then it picks up a bit, and then slow. So I kind of, it's kind of a stop and go situation. But I can't believe Gale had the audacity to be like, let's now run away. At first he was like, no. He's like, Katniss, why should we? And now since he realized that it's like she can't run away from President Snow, that um now he wants to like, let's run away. And then even then Katniss is like, even though I picked Peeta to be my, like, you know, to be married, like, she's like, our kids would never escape the games. Like, even if she was, like, in love with him, which I don't know, because now I feel like, is she ever in love with Peeta? We'll see. Well, I know at some point they do, I think. I have no idea. But anyways, so that's where I'm at. I'm going to, I think I'm pretty much set. I have my water. I finished my coffee. I know at some point today I got to descale my Keurig. So I'm trying to figure out a good time to do that because that takes a moment or two. So I may just do it now and then hop back because they're at 73 minutes. I don't need a full 70. I mean, I could, but and it's 10:23, so I'm good. So I'll probably do that. I'll take a moment, descale my Keurig, and then hop back. So yeah, I feel blurry. Is that me? The camera? Probably. Oops, that didn't help. I just like bounced off my desk there. So so yeah, that is my update. I think I'm going to update past, I'm at 14, so I think I'm going to give myself to actually chapter 20 to officially come back, unless something truly shakes and rattles me, that I'll hop back on and giving you guys an update. But I think for the most part, I'm gonna wait till I get to chapter 20, or I guess technically chapter 21, and go from there. So yeah, I'll be back. Happy reading. Okay, update. I know I wasn't gonna say, sorry I'm too far away, but I was chilling on my chair here. Quick update. We meet some of our contestants, if you will, for the Court of Quell. The two people I've been waiting to see is Joanna and Finnick, and only briefly, because Peeta and Katniss were watching, well, mostly Peeta was watching their tribute, or not their tribute, what is it called? Their Hunger Games through the pass. And we get to see not a sneak peek, but basically a glimpse of Haymitch and when he won his games, and how it's very similar to how Peeta and Katniss ending kind of was, where it was down to 2, and we get to meet, because she was already briefly mentioned earlier in the book, Maisley, I think that's how you pronounce her name, who was friends with Katniss's mom, and that she was also part of Haymitch's games when they were doing it, and how they were the final 2, and how they were the last 2. And so and oh, that's what I'm kind of jumping a little bit ahead. So basically, Katniss and Peeta, they couldn't sleep, and then decided to watch Haymitch's games. That's where I had jumped ahead. So basically, that is what is going on, which is so, I know we get to see more of it down the line. So, which I'm scared to read, but just to kind of see a small glimpse of how Haymitch won is like, I don't want to say sad, but like kind of just like he found a loophole, and of course the Capitol was like, are you serious right now? So I think that also kind of, and the parallel between the two from Haymitch and Katniss, and how it was like the last two to like, it's, you know, it's one of us or none of us. And Katniss kind of like laughed, was like, well, they're pretty much, when I say they're, uh, President Snow and the game, head game master or whatever you want to call it, were like, not this shit again. So that kind of situation. So I'm I'm on 15, right? Yeah. So I'll definitely come back. I keep dropping my book, but I wanted to pinpoint that I did get a sneak peek of Joanna and Finnick, and it's very. I keep talking about it, how much they left out that's in the book and the movie, and I don't understand why. But I also, maybe this was the plan down the line. So sorry about my gross cough, but so that's where we're at. I'm gonna have to cough again, so I'm gonna try to wrap this part up, but I'll come back for sure when I do chapter 20. All right, bye. I just had an epiphany. For the cornucopia in Hunger Games and Catching Fire, I just realized that the and this is, I could be wrong, but I just thought about it. You know, like in Thanksgiving or some type of harvest fest, that there's the cornucopia, has like the woven basket with the fruits and stuff, and it's like, oh, feast on this thing. I just realized that the cornucopia in the games means that, like, we're feasting on, we're feasting on watching people get murked, right? It took me 2 books to realize that. and I, like I said, I could be wrong, but I just realized, like, why, is that what cornucopia means? Where's my phone? Oh, let's see what cornucopia actually means. No, that's fine. Oops. Oh my gosh. There we go. How do you spell it? Oh no. Hold on. Okay. I have to do this. Cornucopia. So the meaning for cornucopia is a horn of plenty, a classical symbol of abundance, nourishment, and prosperity. That's crazy. A horn of plenty. So does that mean there's a horn? Oh, here we go. I guess not, but it still uses the. So for the cornucopia in Hunger Games, this is a massive horn-shaped golden structure at the center of the Hunger Games arena, filled with weapons, foods, and survival supplies. Survival supplies. So I was slightly wrong, but still, it's crazy how things works, and then also why I'm here. Why I have you here, I should say, that where Katniss is talking to Finnick and he's eating that damn sugar cube. This is their first time, like, officially meeting, so that infamous scene where he's like chomping down. I shouldn't say chomping down, that's crazy, but he's eating that sugar cube, and she's like, "Hey, Phoenix," and he's like, "What's up?" But anyways, that's it. That's what my random thought while reading this. We're about to start the games real soon. Yeah. I'm not ready. All right, I'll be back. All right, updates. I'm not quite on chapter 20, but I'm on about to start chapter 19. So it's part 3, and it's called The Enemy. Man, a lot has happened. So I talked about we met Finnick and Joanna, and then when I say we, more like me, but I'm including you into it because, you know. But anyways, so I talked about that. We're at the so we're at the part where we are meeting the tributes, and Katniss and Peeta have to find allies for this games that's coming up. So Katniss wants Beady and Wires, which, yes. And Peeta wants what's his face? Brutus. So I'm like, okay, I guess whatever. So they're going through, trying to meet with them and figure out what their strengths are. And so they both can't be on the same page, which is whatever. And then what else happened? Hold on. I don't want you to hear me slurp on the mic. So they figure out their allies. Oh, and then now it comes to the interviews with Caesar. And Katniss shows her iconic Mockingjay dress that Senna makes. And people are oohing and ahhing. And then it gets to Peeta's conversation, and he talks about how him and Katniss got married. Not officially, but just between them two and no family. Just talking up their love story. And then I think it's Katniss, and Peeta's like, yeah, he's like, I wish, he's like, we got married before the new rules were changed. And Caesar's like, well, how's that gonna work out? And and Peeta was like, boy, I don't know. So then it gets to the iconic line. When I say iconic, but just to kind of like shook up the whole Capitol, when Katniss is like, I'm pregnant. And everybody goes, what? And granted, us as the readers, well, if I didn't watch the movies beforehand, then I would have been like, she's pregnant, but obviously she's not. But to kind of like toss it back to President Snow, like, oh, you're gonna kill us? What if I was pregnant? What would you do? Kind of situation. So that's where I'm currently at. I think, hold on, was there anything else? Oh, and then not yet. So, and then we have that sweet moment between Katniss and Senna, and how in the back of Katniss' mind, where she thinks they had a conversation about how he expressed his own uprising and through his way of clothes without hurting the people he loves. So it's more like, I'm doing this to kind of reflect on me. It'll go back to me and not to the people I love, kind of situation. So when he made the Mockingjay dress for Katniss, she's like, why would you do that? And she's like, I love you, but why would you do that? So then they had that conversation about just them having a moment. And I believe it's leading towards that they're about to start the game soon. Oops. something like that. So yeah, so that is my update. I'm close to being done. Like I said, I wasn't quite at chapter 20, or I wasn't at quite close to chapter, I'm closer to 20 than actually reading 20. Because I wanted to, I am warm. It's been freezing in my house, especially in my office here. So I'm updates. I moved to a third reading sprint. So I think they've been on here for a minute, but I think they go on for about, I think we're in the same time zone, so I think they're gonna be done about hopefully about 4, 5-ish o'clock, 6 o'clock at the latest. So hopefully by then I can be officially done. I'm just around the corner. Things are once again kind of picking up a little bit. I know most of the attempts will happen towards the end of the last couple chapters, and yeah, my thoughts so far, I'm digging it. I mean, I feel like I've always liked the movies, and so I feel like if I like the movies, I'm gonna like the books too, right? I just wish there was some things that happened in the book that was that I wish they should have showed in the movie, but that's not here or there. But I'm trekking along. Like I said, I have one after this book. I have Mockingjay to start reading, and then I can finally get into the prequels, which I'm more excited for. I'm not saying I'm not excited to read the Hunger Games series, but to kind of catch up with everybody. That I can make sure that I'm, because I've been avoiding all sorts of spoilers from Ballad of the Songbird and Snakes, and the Sunrise of the Reaping. So I'm so close, and so like I said, I'm trying to finish reading these books before November of this year. I think November 16th is where Sunrise of the Reaping comes out. So yeah, so that is my plan. I'm gonna take a small break. Should I take a small break? Yeah, I'm gonna take a small break. And what is on my legs? I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna take like a 5 to 10 minute break. I kind of want to. I want to use. I think I'm gonna beverage. I do want to get a snack, but yeah, I'm gonna take a small break. I think they're about to start back on their reading sprint soon, and hopefully by like 6, 7 at the latest. 6, 7. I shouldn't have done that. Anyways, by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, that I'll finish with Catching Fire. So, sorry. My boyfriend 3D printed something for my work desk. I don't want to toss it, but there we go. But, yeah. Oh, that's what I forgot to say. I said I am liking it so far. I don't know what I'm going to rate it quite yet. I'm leaning towards a 4.5 stars at the moment. But that may all change in towards the end of the book. So when I officially finish, that's what my rating's going to be, or what's going to be my official rating. So far I'm leaning towards like a 4.5. I don't think it'd be a 5-star, but it definitely between the two. Anyways, I'm gonna take my break, read some more, and I'll come back. Oh, she's not crying. I thought she was crying. Take my little break, read some more, and then come back with more updates. All right. Bye. All right. Update. Finish chapter 21. We got 6 more. Wait, did I finish chapter 21? Yeah, because I think I'm on 22. Yeah. So we got 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Six, yeah, six more chapters. 6 more chapters. Man. So I left off is where we started the Hunger Games. Mags has R.I.P. by the poisonous fog. Up to this point, pretty much things are close to the movies, or the movie's close to the book. I forgot to mention, and I don't think I mentioned it throughout this whole video, that Katniss has been talking about. It's not so much that I forgot to mention, I think that it's too hurt to talk about. It's Rue. There's a part I forgot to mention earlier that it was between Peeta, Katniss, and Effie about Peeta making a camouflage of some sort. And Katniss was thinking, oh, it's just like last time from the last games. And Peeta's like, no. And Effie's like, oh, it's a painting of Katniss. And he's like, no. And they're like, what is it? And he's like, it's a Rue. And I'm like, oh my God, please stop. I can't cry. I can't do it. So that's what, but I do want to make note that Katniss have been talking about Rue. And I'm not ready. Granted that I've cried already for her loss. But yeah, so kind of fast forward to where we're at now. Mags was taken in by the poisonous fog. There's crazy monkeys, and they're about to die of dehydration, essentially. I mean, even though we know that they don't, but just for the sake of me not knowing about the movies yet, or what's happened, not even about the movies, but in the next couple chapters. So that's pretty much it so far. Like I said, I got 6 more chapters. There's 11 minutes into this sprint right here. I don't know if they're going to do another one after. I mean, even if they didn't, I'm still going to continue to finish this. I'm determined to finish this book today. Because I have other books to start reading that I'm already like a few days behind. So today has to be the day that I finish Catching Fire. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, so far, if you would have asked me, even I'm not finished with Catching Fire yet, if I have to choose, if you're like, Brittany, out of the 2 books you've read so far, between Hunger Games and Catching Fire, which one you like best? I would probably say, Catching Fire, because I feel like the stakes are higher and more intense than it was in the first book. I think there's a lot of intense scenes that you're just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And, and like I said earlier, that the dynamic between President Snow and Katniss is very interesting. Just because, he's probably seeing this, like, girl, he's like this little girl who's trying to start an uprising, like, I'm President Snow. You don't know nothing, right? And just that they're trying to uphold this fantasy of Peeta and Katniss being married with a baby on the way to kind of like prove like, oh, yes, it's for show, but, we're doing this under your whatever, right? So, so that is that. But yeah, I'm loving it. Like I said, I wish there was some that stuff that's happened in the book. I wish it kind of not transfer over, but kind of showed for context in the movies. But for the most part, I will have to say so far, Catching Fire is probably my favorite. And I think also like movie wise too, I think that was my favorite too. I mean, besides Mockingjay, but they put Mockingjay. I forgot that they split Mockingjay into two movies because Harry Potter did that. Harry Potter made sense to do two books. I mean, two movies at the end, right? For Mockingjay, I don't know why, but that was the thing. So here we are. So I'm going to. What time is it? 3:25. I'm going to take another break. Do I need water? No, I'm good on water. We're about to eat dinner kind of soon-ish, so I don't want to get another snack. I might get something to drink besides drinking water, and then hop back right to it. And hopefully, when I come back, I will finish the book or something truly has shook, like I said, shook and rattled me. But I just feel so bad for Mags. Like her, and it's interesting because her, like Finnick and her dynamic in the book, it doesn't translate that they were, like partners, not romantic partners, but like kind of like Hunger Game partners. It kind of just comes off like he was like, oh, this is, this is Mags, this little old lady. And compared to the movie, there was some type of, you can tell that there was some type of bond, right? So, that kind of threw me off a little bit, but for the most part, I feel bad for her. I mean, yeah, she was old, but she didn't need to be gone the way she got. Anyways, yeah, be back. I am done. Man, I already knew there was a cliffhanger. Let's backtrack to, what was I at when I think I was on 22. Oops. Okay. So I don't remember if I mentioned, because I think this happened right when I started. So chapter 22 was that Peeta, Katniss, Finnick, Wires, and Beetee were all in alliance together. Nope, I messed up. Oh, thank you. That it wasn't Beetee and Wires yet, because Beetee and Wires was with Joanna, but they do come meet up with Finnick, Peeta, and Katniss at some point. Let's already jump to that. So they're basically surviving the most traumatic things ever with the Jabberjays thinking, for Katniss, thinking that Prim was being tortured, and then Finnick with Annie thinking that, well, according to Finnick, he's like, no, I think they got Annie, because he's like, the last time I saw her, she was good. So they're, and that scene is always intense when watching the movie. So, and then at some point, they're back at the beach. There's a little tussle, and then Wires, she keeps saying like tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. And Katniss figured out that the cornucopia and everything surrounded it is kind of like a clock. So like at 2, it's something terrible happens, like the terrible fog. At 3, something else happens, so on and so forth. So she figures that out. And then Beetee makes a comment about a lightning strike hitting a tree. So I was like, all right, I see that. And so I'm jumping a bit. So they talk about the tree, And then at some point they've decided to go back to that tree so uh, Beatty can do kind of like explode the whole arena. So the force fields will go down. Pardon me. And uh, so that's where it gets a little interesting. So Beatty, Katniss, and Joanna would be like, be right back. We're going to put the coils around and we're just going to go boom. Because Peeta still has a bum leg. I shouldn't say that about Peeta, but it's true. And Finnick and Wires is down below. Well, of course, what's his name? Brutus and whatever her name is. It doesn't even matter to me because they end up dying anyways. And in the process of that, Joanna takes off Katniss' tracker and kind of, try to just kind of keep Katniss alive so they can take her to be the Mockingjay they need her to be. So she gets upset that her plan was to save Peeta, and they're like, sorry, baby girl. You're our main priority. So she gets upset and basically Haymitch tells Katniss that both Gale, her mom, Prim are they're alive, they're well, they're in District 13, and that District 12 is gone. And she's like, what? And it goes, this is the end of book 2. However, how does it go? Here it goes. It goes, I'm going to go back. It's like, I recognize that voice. It's the same one he uses to approach wounded animals before he delivers the death blow. I instinctively raise my hand to block his words, but he catches it and holds them tightly. Don't, I whisper. Gale's not one to keep secrets from me. Katniss, there's no District 12. And it goes, into book 2. That's crazy. Why would you end it? I mean, I knew, like, it's, like, I can't imagine, like, reading this in real, like, when this came out, and you're like, you get to it, and it's like, that's it. That's all I get. So, yeah, that's it for your girl for Catching Fire. I'm still, I don't know what to rate it. I think I'm leaning towards a 4.5 stars. It would be a 5-star, but there's some parts in the book that was like kind of slow, or kind of, yeah, I think something, or maybe it was just me that made it. I don't know. There's some parts that felt kind of slowed for me. I mean, I know I'm reading a YA book and I'm a grown-ass adult, so that's probably why. But I still had a fun time reading it. I still was, like I said, shook and rattled and gusp and gasp and all the above. So I'm done. I'm not done, but I finished Catching Fire in like essentially, well, actually, when I wouldn't say a full day and a half.
I think we're ready to eat whenever.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. So I finished Catching Fire, I would say like within 24 hours. A little less than that. But I'm gonna have to wrap this up because it's dinner time. I'll be back for part 3 for my Hunger Games reaction. Actually might do it this way. I think this is a little bit easier and less stressful. So, but part 3 for Mockingjay will be shortly, probably next month. I'm going to try to finish each book within a month. So next month would be Mockingjay. But other than that, right? Yeah. Mockingjay, because that's for May. June, wait. Yeah, we're in April. So May, Mockingjay. June, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and then July will be uh, The Rise of the Reaping. So I might, yeah, I think that's easier for me instead of trying to do it all at once. But other than that, thanks for watching my reaction. Like I said, I think I might do it like this instead of doing it in days and get it more quick of a reaction. So, but other than that, I hope you like this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Support your local library. Support your local indie bookstores. And I see you in the next video. Ciao. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter. I don't think I said happy Easter. By the time this video goes up, Easter's already over. But I hope you have a good Easter or a good Sunday. All right, bye.